Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Elven Portal Podcast, Dwarves Against the Storm, the Brew Crew, and many, many other suggestions that were, well, now you just want to pick them all, so kind of decided to stay with the original, because there were so many good suggestions that people flooded our Discord with, and then started texting me, messaging me, mostly from Matt, because he just wouldn't let it go. But welcome back. We are in Book 2, Cult of Cinders of the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Adventure Path, Age of Ashes. We have a full house tonight. Our resident rules lawyer, Mr. Joe Gibson, playing Niles, is in the house tonight.
Hello, hello.
Guiding my steps, because after going back, I figured after 5th level with Joe, I could handle like another production, 1st level with some new characters, new players, and learn along with them. No. I mean, we're doing well, but we literally had to, I don't think I've had to pause a live stream in like 2 years, and I had to pause the other night because we're going to pause, hit record, hit stop and record. The live show gets to listen to us look up rules, but it is what it is. So I am grateful for Mr. Gibson tonight. Our stars this evening, starting, of course, with Elbrick Stonechucker, the charismatic and somewhat hedonistic dwarven sorcerer played by Mr. Matt Witt tonight.
Hello, everybody.
And Gilligan and all the rest. So, moving on. No, just kidding. Author on Amazon of Evening Star, Samantha Curl, continues her cameo as Alethea, the Elven Ranger.
Hello, everyone.
We have fellow co-worker of mine, and you're going to see Matt Spiegler, actually, like Sam, in a smattering of shows as he gets his feet wet, and we finally possibly find him a resting place. A home. Mr. Matt Spiegler, playing another dwarven cousin, because they're endless.
Yeah, Sam's salt and I'm the pepper.
That's not bad. That's not bad, dude. And the birthday boy, Mr. Aiden Willems, who it has been my pleasure to work with for 5 years, has always been a generous ear to any of our problems. And I must say, of all the rules lawyers and of all players that say, hey Jeff, here's a rule, has argued the least amount with yours truly. So very special happy birthday to Mr. Aiden Willems tonight.
Well, thank you. I am actually very surprised by that fact because I feel like I'm absolutely the one that argues with you the most.
No, I was thinking about that today, long before we got into an argument pre-show. I was actually thinking about that today. How Joe's new, and I just Joe Cerulli just tells me that's way different than Jay, yourself, Matt, Ryan, no, I had to dig deep for a compliment for the birthday boy, and it's what would be the nicest, honest, backhanded towards the other cast members thing I could say to compliment Aiden Willems, and there it was, just so obvious as day. Anyway.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Happy birthday, Aiden, you brilliant boy.
Thank you.
He made it. How old?
I'm 24, so I don't know if boy's accurate, but.
Okay.
We're all playing a role-playing game. We're all boys.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spiegler, that's not a bad assessment right there. It's no, if you're here with us tonight, then you stopped growing up somewhere between the age of 12 and 24. We are sure. Okay. All right.
And purely for the betterment of mankind.
Oh, of course. I mean,
For the betterment of mankind.
yeah. Who?
We do it for them.
Oh yeah. Grown-ups are overrated. Being an adult. I mean, hey, you pay your taxes, you pay your bills, you're good to your kids, you raise them right, yada, yada, yada. But when your time is your own, and you do the weirdest, geeky, watching Kevin Smith's remake of He-Man, there's nothing wrong with that. It's an amazing show. Thank you, Doug. All right.
Except for that show.
Yeah, except for that show. I've actually been watching Moriarty the Patriot anime, and it's really good. It's like a reverse Sherlock. Very, very good. Anyway, in the jungle, the mighty jungle of the Mwagi Expanse, there is a school, one of the greatest schools of magical tradition, a brand new adventure path. We're going to drop this and go right into it just to piss everybody up. No, of course not. But I have noticed in this book, there's a couple of nods to said school, and there's a couple of nods to that sort of linking the world. And since we're playing on the same world, even years apart in our many campaigns, there are links. So I ask you again, if you happen to be listening to one of your favorite shows and you're caught up, we have a feed on all of our podcast networks, everywhere you can find us, Spotify, name it, called Mongers All Shows. And they are posted in order that we recorded them, and the links between the cameos in between, the humor and the lore that links all the adventures between the year all the way back to like 1411 all the way up to currently 4721 is there. And I've noticed that we have a steadfast listenership apart from the main listenership that sticks only on that RS feed. So hats off to you for being smart enough to getting the whole picture, and we hope you are enjoying, for those that completionists or those that, you know, want to watch every last Avengers or Marvel movie, even good ones like Ant-Man, but, you know, not everybody was down for Ant-Man and the Wasp, to get the whole story, the whole picture. So, a great big jungle to explore, and when last we left our heroes, you guys had run into one gentleman from Taldor. Oh, we've heard that name before, but we're not going to linger on that. One Gerard Hentergrast, explorer, dashing adventurer. I got to say, if you said I was going to walk around wearing green studded leather, I'd be kind of wary or think you're an elf, but this guy's actually pulling it off. And again, you know, I can't help comparing that hair to Aiden Willems' current hairdo.
I do have a glorious mane right now.
You do. I'm just bitter because I'm losing mine. So.
Oh, it's okay. No, I'm going to lose mine in like 5 years.
In 5 years.
I could picture him being played by Owen Wilson. A young Owen Wilson, maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So you want me to take Owen Wilson's voice and mix it with a British gentleman, right? Okay, so. I say, lads, the river is before us. Wow. Nah, doesn't work, sorry. Nice try, Speak. All right. You guys were marching to the river, and I believe you were going to barter for one of your rafts. You were willing to give one up for him, and we were discussing what you guys wanted to trade for it, yes? I believe that's where we left off. Oh, yes, and dysentery, and malaria, and fatigue. Can't help but reinstate all.
And a mustache.
And a mustache. Can't help. Mustache for the goblin. How did you pull it off?
I have to be out of his sight, and he can't know I exist for the next 4 days.
Oh, that's right. I was really going to actually give up a lock of my hair to get rid of the annoying goblin.
Oh, you already did it.
Yeah, okay.
On
right.
recording.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the fun side of prejudice, right? Fun note, Taldorians are very prejudiced. Like, they have a caste system in society, and the gentry have mustaches and bearded, and commoners are just commoners. And they still act like that, even though adventurers, like, save the king and all that kind of thing. So imagine, 2 years, a Weeby Goblins and a first edition ago where goblins were the bad guys. You know, he's out in the frontier in the jungle, and there's this talking goblin traveling with these dudes. It's, probably not a fan. So to shut you up, here's a lock of my hand. A lock of my hair, which somehow magically grows back like in 5 minutes.
I'm gonna get that hand.
So I believe we were discussing terms of what you guys wanted for said raft. And as the scene faded out, we were marching down towards the river. The scene comes back down on the river, which is a mere 10, 20, 30, 40 miles south of Akravel, the Elven treetop jungle city. And you guys are 20 miles, well, actually, so I guess I'll put you 80 miles from the city. 20 miles upriver. Actually, I want to say down, because I believe this river flows east to west, I believe. I'd have to pull up a bigger map. Probably wrong, but a 50-50 chance. When you finally reach the river, Gerald becomes very excited as we line up on the river and you guys are talking about your rafts, and he's looking all over. Anyway, he points across the river, gets very excited. He says, "Aha! There's my boat!
It must have washed down river and got lodged. Why, I don't need to buy your raft after all. But I will rent it from you if you boys would just ferry me across. As you see, the sturdy old Sally is still partially stuck, if not moored, on that log yonder. At least I think that's my boat. You guys peer across, and sure enough, you see a riverboat that is sort of luckily got itself wedged on a low tree branch, and there's enough heavy branch laying low that it's not scooping under, and continuing along the path of the river. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, sure. We'll help him out.
Okay. You want to charge him for the ferry ride?
Any objections?
I don't object.
All right. Ollie! So, if you lads would ferry me across and possibly give me a hand of bringing the boat back to this side, we can load up our latest riches, and I will be on my way as promised. So I'm assuming we do so? You guys lend him a hand? Help him with his boat?
Sure.
Okay. Who wants to get in the boat with me and help me come back? Anyone?
Not I.
You guys are all just kind of looking blank, like, I don't want to get in the boat with this asshole.
Lobrak's not around.
That's right, yeah. That's true. We'll get the goblin to come with you. Oh, right. Damn it.
Yeah. Albrecht will.
Okay. So, Al, he puts you in the front. He steers. Let's say that the rest of you guys are on the raft and bringing the raft back. Can I have a perception check, please, sir?
Oh, I suppose. Perception of 16.
Up under the cowl, like how the proverbial kayak or canoe has the little cowl at the front. It's like anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 feet of like a cap on the nose of the boat. You just put gear. Okay. You just put gear and crap under there.
Yep.
He has gear and supplies.
Does he?
Yeah, all bundled up. So they must have jumped out of the boat, pulled it up, and then maybe didn't secure it, or something's going on. Like because his party are dead. So he says, all those guys in stone. The boat's just happily sitting here, and this guy's just like the luckiest dude on earth because his boat with a decent amount of supplies is there for the taking. Anyway, just noting that the guy does have gear.
Yeah, and probably excess of it because there's one of him now and it's gear for a whole party.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll ask for some of that stuff as reward. Anything that we can do to improve our camp life that we don't already have.
Okay. So we steer the boat back and we pull it ashore, and now he's looking for help to like muscle in this totem, and you strike him up for, hey, instead of, paying us, have you got gear to, you can give?
Yeah.
I have, anyway, he's got his pack or whatever, and he starts digging in it going, well, I suppose I could, water is very rare. I suppose I could replace that. What are you lads short of? Do you need something specific? Or and he starts going through his own backpack, ignoring the boat.
I'll point out the stuff at the front of the boat. I'll be like, right, I was talking about that over there.
Oh, that's not gear, good man. He says, he leans in, he says, that is the spoils of the jungle. It's not like I've been here only a single day. Why this, although it is my pride and glory, he says, pointing at the totem, like the coolest thing we've pulled out of here. We've been here for weeks. And I wouldn't say we've got quite a haul, but certainly nothing to sneeze at. Winking through his monocle at you. Anyway, so apparently, that bundle is like, valuables that they've taken, but not actual functioning gear like tents and crap that would do you any good.
Oh, right then. Let's have a look at that. Might be something of use for us that you don't even know about.
Well, I might be able to lighten my load. How much you've got on you? Like, this is not mere ferry coppers. Some of these items are actually magical. So he pulls out his pack and pulls out hand wraps, a thurible,
A what?
I don't know. It's a thurible.
It's a thurible.
It's a something thurible of something, and I can't tell you that without spellcraft.
Right. Yeah, but what's a thurible? Does anybody know?
No idea.
Open question to the forum.
I don't know. What's a thurible with you?
Come on, Joe. Google that shit. I'm busy role playing. Mr. Gibson, will you please like that? Moving on.
I have no idea.
All right. Yeah. Carry on.
A serpent carving made of jade. And a whole bunch of books that look like personal journals. The green studded leather bindings give it away. Guess who wrote it? Kind of thing. You actually, there's one that's like marked with a page and you flip it over going, bravely I've ordered my party ahead to scout. Like stuff like, real Sir Robin here, this guy, type of thing, right? After the plebes have scouted the area, I shall make my grand efforts and, declare the gold for Taldor, that kind of thing, right? Yeah, that's what he pays him for.
That's funny.
Anyway. He says, and he pulls the book out of your hand, that you're like on the last page. He says, let me read you a passage. And he flips back and he just starts boasting, and he's like, picture this, the Jersey side of the jungle, dark as night, two green eyes gleaming towards us, the mightiest of the mighty pythons hunting at night. But I would not be fooled, and he goes on this story about how, it threatened everyone, but how he single-handedly took down this thing. And the strangest thing, as we cut open its belly, we found yet this bejeweled jade serpent inside a serpent. No tale of a lie. Imagine our surprise. We'd found a valuable serpent within the serpent. And he's like, can I have a social roll from anybody?
Sure.
He thinks he's made some sort of funny. This much is obvious. You don't even need to roll perception.
Natural 20.
The tale of the serpent eating its own tail. The endless.
Yep.
Right? He's putting that together that we found a jewel serpent. Yeah, it's a really bad. But you get it.
I will appease him. Aye, that's a good joke there. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Clever.
He says, now I was going to take these to a publisher. He says, but I've made copies. I would be willing to part with one of these unpublished, a rare item, and even signed, for the cost of that ferry. He pulls out a pen like, I'll give you one of my memoirs instead of paying you for all the shuttling you just did. What say you?
Aye, unfortunately, you should be familiar with what goes in the jungle. You only take what you absolutely need. But I'll tell you this, I'll be looking for it when it comes out, and I'll be wanting a signed copy.
Aha, care to make a deposit now? I'm sure these would sell for 10 crowns back in Taldor, 5 to 15 abroad. He says, I'll make sure to mail you one for the paltry sum of 3. In advance, of course. Big smile, big hand. What do you say?
I'll just kind of brush him off,
dude,
change the subject,
pick
up something in the pile.
Just so we're clear, he's talking gold crowns, which is like platinum. Yeah. Like, remember how silver is now gold? Yeah. Dude's asking for platinum pieces for his book, unpublished. Like, if you thought it was preposterous that it was like 10 gold, it's like, no, he's asking for like 100, like $100.
Yeah.
A steal, 200.
I'm going to politely decline
all right.
And then change the subject.
Okay.
I'll cast Detect Magic if any of that stuff in the pile pings.
Oh yeah. The thurible, the hand wraps. Where's Messsina when you need him?
I know.
Of
right?
all the random stuff you could put in a guy's stuff, it's just like, are you kidding me? We had our monk for years, and then we lost him Tuesday and Friday. Magical hand wraps of the something. He's gonna think I'm just like teaching. Like if I think he's still listening to the show, waiting to come back. Yeah, that's what I tell myself. And he's just thinking I'm being a dick by putting magical items for his character specifically because he. No, it's not
the
me.
evilness.
It's not me. It's not me. I swear. Anyway, so moving on.
Just those two things were magical? Three. What was the third thing?
Well,
the thurible, the hand wraps, and what?
The little serpent that he took out of a serpent.
Oh, the serpent.
Yeah, little serpent made out of jade. It's like a little figurine. How about some spellcraft? Well, you and Joe remind me about what kind of roll you need to... Because it used to be like 15 plus double the level of the item, and now it's like, don't you just have to hit the item level plus 20 or something?
I have no idea.
Like Aid and Other in this game went up to 15, 20 as opposed to 10. It's like it's all about bonuses and stacking bonuses.
I'll toss out my spellcraft lore
Okay.
or whatever. It's be Arcana, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what magic it is. That's
Okay.
for the DM to figure out, and then for you to roll on it.
Okay, sounds good.
Which of the four is it in? Religion, Arcana, Nature,
Occultism.
or Occultism?
I'd say these are all Arcana.
It will state in the description of the object. I'm just saying.
So,
Yeah.
3 rolls, 3 items.
All right. So there's one was a 16, and the next one is a 30, and the next one is a 22.
Okay, so the thurible is incense.
Incense.
So you know that little hard cinnamon. It looks like you get like brown sugar stuck in your cupboard, and it gets really hard and crusty.
Yeah.
So you know they have the really darker brown stuff made with molasses, right?
Okay.
Take like a little Hershey's Kiss of that, like it's a dollop of incense, and you just light it and you put it in a censer, like the little ball with the holes in it.
So it's a magical piece of incense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that would be
That's interesting.
That would be under religion. So with your first roll, you can tell it's magical of a religious nature, but you need a religion roll to tell me, like for me to tell you exactly what it does.
Oi, Niles, come over here. Have a look at this.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Good old religion, eh?
Mm-hmm.
How's a 18?
To activate this costs you 2 actions. Okay.
Okay.
You light the incense inside the censer, and it burns for an hour. During that time, as long as you were holding the thurible, maybe the thurible is actually the container. Sorry. Maybe the thurible is part of the incense burner, not the incense. Anyway, you get a +1 item bonus to religion checks. So I'm pretty sure this is, the 3 chain with the smoking ball, and the priest swings it back and forth in front of him.
Yeah.
You know.
Fire pole? Sort of like a fire pole?
Yeah, something like that. It's probably in that nature. You put incense in it, and anyway, +1 to your religion checks as long as this stuff's burning for an hour.
Cool.
Okay. And this would help you, like, you could decipher writings of religious nature. Like, why would you want a +1 for an hour? It doesn't seem to make sense. It's like, well, they talk about, like, a critical failure when you decipher writings of religious nature is only a failure instead of a critical failure. So there's something you could do is you could light this stuff up, get your happy potpourri on, and then read a religious book and decipher it and get a +1 to do so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Very neat.
It's a 3rd level item. Next, we have with your 22, Albric, that snake is a figurine of wondrous power. We all know what those do. Yes, no? Grows into the real thing, like a little automaton.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Is it a consumable? Or is it something that's like a once per day kind of job?
It's a jade serpent, a wondrous power. The most famous one I know of is Guinevere. Dritz had a Onyx figure panther, right? But they juiced it. They made it more than just a figurine of wondrous power. It was actually a very powerful one. But that kind of thing, like you have the figurine, it summons the real creature. You can command the creature, and it's like a once a week or once a day or whatever. Anyway, it's the Jade Serpent of Wondrous Power. So its specifics probably either no or illusion. We'll get into it later date. But yeah, definitely, it's like instant summoning creature.
So, party, is there anything you think we should barter for?
Now,
No?
he would want market price for this. Like, he wouldn't want a jade, this magical item is worth this. And he's like, yeah, but I'll go to Taldor and sell it for 5 times the price because it's exotic and it came out of the jungle. It's rare. You know what I mean? So unless you're willing to pay, an exorbitant price for this stuff, he's probably not going to part with it. Because he knows,
Push him in the water.
But no, you know what? Like, it seems interesting, but And then as for supplies and stuff that he has, is there anything he has that we're missing? Was there any stuff that we didn't that could help us?
If he's like for an expedition, if he's fully supplied, I will say he probably does have something either got turned to stone on the porters or maybe something they've dropped and he's thrown it on the skid. But it would be like a replenishment. Like, I could buy you maybe 2 days where you wouldn't have to go all the way back to Arkaville. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So since he's on a river and he thinks he's pretty much gone, he will give you 2 days of supplies, some fresh food, some rations, that type of thing, to extend your rations for 2 full days. And considering this will feed your entire party, that's like 10 days for him. I was like, I don't need all this food because I don't have 10 guys, right? So,
yep.
In exchange for services already rendered.
Which I think seems fair. We'll do that. Helped him out. He helps us out.
Yeah.
Wish him luck on his journey.
Okay.
Let him take that friggin' statue as far away from us as he can take it.
Okay. So you guys help him up and send him on his way down the river or up the river, wherever he goes?
Yeah, whichever direction he's going.
Now, I will, for future reference, I will look up where he's going, which river this is, and you know what I mean? That type of thing.
He'll be out there in the jungle somewhere.
Well, I have a feeling this is not the last of it. Just a hunch.
Okay.
Just a hunch. Because right now, Al, I gotta say, without revealing too much, you're par for the course. So off he goes, and we can get back to exploring the jungle. So where do you guys want to go? Where do you want to go next? Fresh hexes to explore? Yeah.
I will leave that to our ranger. Is it 2? Do we have 2 rangers?
You have a ranger and a fighter with a bit of a ranger or archer archetype, right?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Spiegler. You're a fighter with a bit of a archetype in ranger or hunter, or
goes and stepping.
He's nodding. For the audio podcast, please.
Yeah, I think I am. I just can't remember if it's what the actual.
I think you are. Joe, help us out here.
Archetype name is.
Archer dedication.
Archer dedication.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So not a ranger. Cool.
Maybe.
Well, it's like a prestige class, right? It says multi-class in the. Okay. Cool.
It doesn't actually say it in my sheet, so I can't.
Well,
remember.
let's clear something up for the audience. When you create a character, they usually get into something like there's 3 choices. Like take the bard for instance. There's there's like the knowledge guy, the encouraging guy, and the music guy, and they take the original bard and they break it off into 3 paths. But these paths are engorged with new talents and stuff. But you make this choice. What kind of bard are you? Are you following the patron, the muse, or the that kind of thing, right? So in Ranger, is the archer one of these paths? And they're just allowing that furthered archetype taken as a multi-class archetype?
No, it's the archer multi-class
Okay.
archetype.
All right. But as a fighter, he is able to dabble in things like a lot of characters are survival and stuff, right? So he was like our survivalist. Like those paranoid guys that hoard weapons and have a car trunk full of axes, and that's your dwarven ranger, right?
Okay.
The end of days guy, right? So we got a legit elven ranger, and then we got our dwarven cousin that
cousin Steppin's always ready for any situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like the survivalist is probably the
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, but anyways, I will leave our pathfinding to
Those two?
the people who are
Yeah.
good at it.
Which way do you guys wish to journey? Did you want to get back on the rafts and go up and down, or did you guys want to head in bush? Because you guys came straight down, got on the bush, skipped, let's say, an entire column of hexes, went to the second column over, went north, and ran smack down into this guy. So you guys could go north inland and zigzag around to try and clear some, or you could get on the boat and head up and down,
Back
around.
to the river we go. Back to
I was
the
gonna-
river we go.
River instead of trying to spend another night on land and getting sick again.
Well, you can't sleep on the boat. I mean, you could, but that would be bad. But you can move faster on the boat, on the raft,
Yes.
right? You guys can, I think it's like 4 hexes instead of 2.
So yeah, probably back to the river.
Okay. So all nod, all river, all in favor, 2 rafts, Buddy's gear, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lead on, Lassie.
Do you guys want to go east or west?
I believe we were going east.
Supposed to be going.
East.
Does anybody remember
The
that?
I believe the cultists were looking for to the east, and
Was the southeast in a southeasterly direction.
that was yeah.
Right, so
we're
southeast
going
from
east.
the-
Right, so we're doing the L pattern, right? You guys like ran south for like 4 hexes, like now we'll follow the river east, and that's got to put us,
somewhere near our target.
Yeah, take Highway I-9 straight down, then cut over the... Yeah, sure, why not, right? All right. So on the river we go. How many hexes? Now, you guys can... I believe you can do up to 3 or 4. How many do you wish to go before you want to stop? And then again, go, north, south, check out a hex, explore it. Because, unfortunately,
I
that...
think we did 2 last time, so we'll stick with that. Because it seems
Yeah,
to be working.
we did 2 because then it would give us enough energy to explore a square
Yeah.
without being all fatigued. And then after we were done, we'd make camp, and then we're not gonna rush it.
Okay. Okay. That's
Exhaustion's bad.
okay. All right.
So do we need to spend the night on the shore and then get on the rafts and go 2 squares and then explore?
The Gerald thing, that's up to you guys.
Yeah,
like
how much
these
time did that
these
take?
encounters are designed to, like, when you hit something and do a square, you should rest the night, replenish all your spells, because each of these encounters are severe, or can be if they go sideways. So, it's up to you, really. I mean, yeah, I guess you should, like, you kind of spent the day exploring the whole hex, then you ran into this bozo, so whether you found him early or late, this hex isn't cleared until you spend the day doing it, right? So I'm guessing you guys camp here, and fresh raft in the morning would probably be the way to... Otherwise, it technically can't give you the whole hex. But I will tell you this. The hex is the hex, both sides of the river. You know what I mean? Like, see what I've revealed the bottom of the river there, that little bit, right? You guys have gone across with the boat, checked him out, moved around, but I'll give you a whole hex no matter how it falls. Okay? So, one more night, which means survival checks, if you please, because it's time. What was our DC, like 18?
I got a 23. I was I hit thievery by accident. And then I hit
He
survival.
steals the tea in the middle of the night. He's gone. Damn it. And that's why all the other cousins hate you.
I got a 17 to assist.
Okay. This is I wouldn't say it's a taking 10 kind of thing, but I will be kind and say it's the 15 aid another as opposed to 20 in this scenario, because you guys have hours to set up and check each other, and so why not, right? Not going to make the aid another. So with our lead of survival trained Miss Evening Star of 7, first on the board here, becomes an 8.
Yeah.
All right. There's a question. Do you need to be trained and skilled to aid somebody with it? I mean, if you don't know how to play the flute, how are you going to help the guy beside you play the flute?
You can aid in other ways. That's up to the DM to decide.
I will say that you can aid because you can be directed how to set up a camp. So I will take untrained rolls. That's fine. So
That's not that was my thievery roll.
yeah,
It was
well, they're going to
untrained.
say, put that down, bring that back. But that's still helping. He runs off with your kettle of fish. Hey, fucker. No, Steph.
My survival was 23.
I know. I was just waiting for you to catch me on that. Sorry. So Al directed you guys both to do something. And since there is several of us, I'm going to say that there isn't necessarily like one lead on this. We've got Lobrak helping the ranger, and they get to 10, and they're having trouble with where they've decided with a wet branch or whatever. And then we've got Oakenheart, who has scouted around and has decided to take something like something in ground, like a lurch hill, or you know what I mean? Not necessarily do the up above and hang from a tree kind of thing, because it's just that isn't that kind of, it's all green and wet. You decide to dig in the ground and make the best of it, even though it's going to be creepy crawlies, and do well with a 23. And then we have, anybody else want to aid Stepan? Actually, he's knocked out of the park with a 23.
Do you have to be trained in survival in this one?
I'm going to say no, because you can be directed by them. You know, Dad shows you how to pitch a tent, you helped, right?
21.
When you're making alchemical components and you're like, no, doctor, give me exactly 5 cc's in that green beaker. And they go, huh? No, I'm not going to allow that. You know, like, so. Okay. I'm going to be nice.
Thank you for the hand, cousin.
Yeah. So you guys pull it off in shining fashion. So, do you guys remember how this went down? Hit your rolls, hit your fortitudes, you know, yada yada. No dysentery, no this. As long as you guys have a decent camp. I think you guys only ran into trouble when you started screwing up your survival rolls, because you constantly, like, you guys were just booking it through this jungle. And then it was like, oh, no, you weren't. Sorry, you guys were going 1 square, be sure, whole bunch of sleep rolls. And then the odds caught up with you, because you guys weren't going fast. You were going slow, and it was forcing more rolls out of you. I think that's how it went down. Sound about right?
Yep.
Seems pretty accurate.
You roll enough d6s, and sooner or later, Yahtzee, you have malaria. You know, something like that. Okay. So, the jungle is not a forgiving place, but...
Yeah, because we could only explore for so many hours until we got, like, the exhausted.
You got the fatigued.
The fatigue.
The -1, but I'm not gonna put it on your characters.
But it wasn't just that. It was like it also made you unable to use the exploration trait or whatever.
And some skills and spells and yeah.
Yeah, so we literally could only move for 4 hours and then camp, and then move for 4 hours, camp.
Well,
so that's why we built the raft, so we could move quicker through the jungle.
They really don't want dungeons to be like Canada's Wonderland. You know, they're really trying to press upon the environment, the heat, the humidity, the trudgery, and then there's that suspense of everything here wants to try and kill you and eat you. And they turn it into dice rolls as you happily, you know, fatigue your way across the jungle.
I mean, I play a fantasy game to get away from that, because that's my existence. Welcome to the desert.
Anyone adding an extra level of immersion with a hot room like me?
So, I'm gonna say you guys do all right, and I just need fort saves for the basic fatigue of the day going, like the hours going by, because every fort, whether you're working away at a campsite or working by moving, there is that terrible, terrible curse of the fatigue. I just can't seem to find it. Call them out, boys, as soon as you see them pop up.
25.
17.
27.
You wake up feeling energetic with your new magical mustache.
26 for Reyna.
Yeah, let's not
12.
Let's not forget the wolf. Is there
26
is your
for
familiar
Stepan.
immune? I really don't think that kind of does that really account for him? You can fatigue a familiar? I mean, it's there.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of riding around in a pouch. Like, you don't really pull him out and use him. He's not like walking around. Like, you know, he might be baking in there like an oven, but unless you start using him, then I'll worry about it. Does he have his little -1 from the day of fatigue, right? All day being so cute and cuddly. It really wears a puppy down, right? All right. So, gentlemen, fresh morning, up, shit, shower, shave, wash supplies, refill canteens.
Attach mustache to deer skull.
Now, you guys, if you want, during the day, you can make survival checks to feed and water yourselves so that you are not tapping into those rations. And I believe, again, that was something you guys were doing so that you guys could carry stuff to the point where it was like, you know what I mean, the hunting and the fishing ran out kind of thing. So I will take a couple survival checks from our survivalists and rangers, please, just to make sure that everyone's got their breakfast, you know, and you don't have to tap into the supplies you just got. So if you run out, it's a long trek back to Elfville.
Steppen got a 26.
Awesome.
17.
Yep, this is good. This is good. Food and water all around between the two of you. Back on the boat, and now we travel down the river to the east. How many squares do you want to go? Where do you want to stop?
We're moving from the totem.
Yep.
2 squares to the east.
Yeah.
And then we'll stop. And do you guys want to go on the south shore? Would you like?
I think you guys can do 4. I think you just wanted to get more than 1 square out of your raft. Because remember, you're also bypassing squares, right? You guys might drive right but past something if you're not careful. Just saying. However, going along and like taking a chip out of this part of the jungle, moving along a bit more and chip there and chip there, like, you know, is a fast way of sort of shaking up the jungle as well. I just don't want you to think you're limited to 2 squares just because that was the pattern you fell last time. You can go up to 4, I believe.
Yeah, but if we do the whole 4, we can stop and rest, and that's it. We can't explore anything.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Now I'm on to what he's saying. So 2 then, yeah? Very well. 2 in. Revelio. Right? Yeah. Alt? No. It's control. Nope. There we go. Trying to remember.
Alethea, what do your senses tell you? Did we go to the south or the north shore?
I'll try south again.
Copy that. Let's motor in.
Okay. Go to the south side. We spend half the day going fruitlessly in a direction. And you just feel, I don't know, you run into this black line. It's kind of hexagonal. It makes you turn around. And you jump back on your boat, and you guys go to the north side of the river. And, you know, hence clearing the 1 hex. Because I'm not going to stamp out hexes on top of, like, offset hexes, so. Another day, 2 in, and a completely cleared. Huzzah! Get my dice right here. Let's do random encounter. Let's do random encounter. Let's do random encounter. We need that darn XP. Hey! Huzzah! Nada. Time to rest. Time to survive. Time to break camp and make camp and start another fresh day. Survival checks from our leads and aids from any who wish, if you please.
I got a 28.
He just
14.
Rocking it. A little rivalry
Let's
going
keep
on
the-
here. He's building like sand castles because he's got extra time on his hands on the shore. She's still struggling with getting the basic necessities.
And now Brick basically gets himself tied up in one of the tents trying to set it up.
He's like, yeah, the one dwarf.
with an 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, one dwarf makes it, the other one wrecks it, and we're kind of on par with what the rest of you guys are doing.
It was an 8. I just wasn't helpful.
You're the one.
Niles, what the bloody hell are you doing over there?
You're the one kid that like rips the window flap by sticking his head through. Now the rain comes in. You can sleep on that side. That kind of thing, is it?
And then, yeah, I guess we need to do another round of fortitudes.
Another round of forts, yes.
What are we looking to beat on this? Or I guess it's a secret.
Fatigue.
18 for.
Oh, 26, yes.
14.
Big number. Money.
It is basic.
27 and 11.
Who got the 11?
19.
Who got the 11?
Raina.
You are fatigued.
Just tired.
Tail between her legs, just kind of slipping along. No, -1. My 50 feet becomes 49 feet per second per month. Still outrunning you guys, right? She's so awesome, you don't even notice the handicap of the -1. Speaking of wolves, Reyna is a wolf from the forests, the mountains, you know, brand new territory, and is suffering these fatigue checks because, you know, the heavy fur and whatnot, right? But having a special magical elven bond with you, you know, she's your best friend and confidant and will never leave you like that other elf guy that took all your money. Oh, we don't want to talk about it. I'm curious, can you use your wolf in your skill set? Like, can you have her do survival checks? Like, you go hunt, I'm taking the day off. I'm sure you can do that. Can you use her, like, instead of an aide, but surely you can use her to, like, be the lead on a hunt or survive, you know what I mean?
To set up the tent, she takes the latrine, just runs off to the corner.
Okay. I'm not saying
That would be awesome.
I'm not saying there's a montage of her with nails in her mouth and she's hammering, like, outpacing the dwarf. No, but I meant you could make this creature hunt for you, right? And that type of thing. I'm just curious what kind of role she has. Like, is her survival better than yours, or is she better just aiding you, right?
Her survival is definitely better than mine.
Okay. So here's a thought. As an animal companion with a ranger, you could have her, when it comes to hunting, right? You can have her be the lead and you aid her, and it counts as your actions, you know, and you can take that role. As opposed to you being the lead for the survival stuff. At least it would give you an advantage in feeding us and watering us over Mr. Engineer over here. Just a thought. You know, she's a valuable resource that I feel that I've neglected as a DM, and of course we're already up to 5-6 players that, you know, Reyna hasn't had her do. And don't even get me started on the hidden devil eyes that are underneath Al's cloak. I have no what the hell we're gonna do with this puppy. Anyway, just a thought. So
Okay.
next day, Reyna's a little bit, you know, worse for wear, but you guys are good. So back on the raft.
We haven't found any sign of the cultists.
Not yet. It's
Or anything.
big jungle.
Okay. Yeah. So the river forked. We took the.
If we keep going down the river forks, or
Yeah.
we can keep going south from where we are now on foot.
Maybe I should. Maybe if you might be looking at what I'm looking at here, like this. You know, let me fill in some hexes that you guys have not. You know, not explored. Like, you were told the elephant people are in this square, but I shouldn't clear it saying you've done it. So I'm gonna fill that back in. Like, there's a lot that you guys have. Does that look a little bit more sensible? I was just trying to show the river itself.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have a feeling that Matt thinks you guys are like at the fork, and you're not. You're actually 2 hexes away. You're in the middle.
Okay.
You're in the middle now.
So then let's continue down towards the fork.
Sure. So you guys want to do 2 and then do the one at the fork?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yep. All right. I can do that. And this one, ooh, big money. All right. Most of this hex, let's just say terrain, paths, favorable conditions, you know, growth, tree, that, you know, all that kind of stuff. You guys are looking at whoops, shouldn't clear that one. My bad. Oop. Mostly on the south. See, like, the first hex you did was like a little bit more in the north. The river was near the bottom. The second hex you guys cleared the middle. The river went straight through the center of the hex. This one, not only is there a smaller river branching off immediately to the north, the river runs through, let's say, the top half of this hex, and you find another river branch is easily spotted, sort of like in the next. You guys haven't explored it, but you see how you see that extra little curve there? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, another day, more fort saves, and it's time to camp. Oh, dice like you. So far, no trouble. We're chewing up the jungle, hex by hex. Spam them out. Call them out.
25 for survival.
Where is that?
16.
I got a 16 for aiding.
25 for fortitude.
You're on fire tonight, dude.
I know. It's just like, I almost want to say these rolls are wasted. He's like, by the time we get to the fourth night, he's engraving our names. He's made a door.
Yeah.
He keeps pulling out a door that has like a little heart shape on it to make the front door of our tent. You know, like what?
18 for my fortitude.
Very good, sir.
15 and 23 for fortitude.
Okay.
Raina's the 23.
I got one of those like circus tents up with like a big table.
Yeah, the pavilion is
It's
just
like a circular.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like a circular table that like folds out.
He gets inspired and starts sewing the tents together and gives us like this mini pavilion tent. And it's just, oh, yeah. By the time you guys see that they're in a jungle, you're going to have one of those Viking halls with the big long tables. And we'll be like, you know, like, I guess it's time to take it down a week later. You know, okay, we're going to move one night. You know, there is the downside to that awesome accommodation, but, you know, still. I'd like to get the party there to that point where you're just, you know, throwing up, what kind of hall do they call that? A mead hall or whatever, you know? Big Viking drinking hall. The lodge. Yeah, lodge. There you go. So, another night passes uneventfully, and you guys have fort saves for the travel. Now you guys need survival to set yourself up for that night's, kind of got ahead of myself here with the fort saves. The survivals for making said wonderful tents.
Didn't we roll all those at the same time?
Yeah, we did those.
I see a whole bunch of fort, 40, fort. I don't see survival.
I got 16 for survival and Steppen got 25.
Oh,
I got a 16 to aid.
Sorry, I didn't go back far enough. Yes, no, you're good. You guys are gold. Another day on the raft. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to go from currently where we're launching. You guys can go heavy east and follow the wide breadth, which is going to take us into the last couple hexes on the edge of the map. There is also to the east, but a little bit of a side that swirls north. Next, we have backtracking, heading just straight west to pick up places we've missed, or backtrack a little west and get this gentle east, but certainly turns seriously north curve of, again, a slender, narrower river path that takes us who knows where. Or we can just get on foot and truck off in some rando direction. What do you want to do?
Ask everybody's opinion on what they think we should do from here.
I'm going to do what you think we should do.
I was going to say, they're all looking at you.
I was hoping you would...
Are we supposed to be going south?
Yes, we are supposed to be going south, but did anybody want to explore any more on foot before we got back on the water, or...
At this point, the river's heading east and slowly tilting higher, as in, like, it's slowly gaining north, but very, you know... Like, look at the hexes. First, the river was in the bottom half. Then the river's in the middle. Then the river's in the top half of the hex. See, there is a gradient north, you know, kind of thing.
I was, like, looking around the coast for any signs of, like, other travelers, like the cultists or something. And I gotta...
Oh, let's do some tracking. Yeah. It's actually survival.
You're right.
Yeah, but I'm scared to ask you for it.
22.
He comes back with a long list of every freaking creature that's passed through here in the last hour, but no, people. But wait. No. There is a sign of possible a patrol or something territorial. It's humanoid, but you would probably think it's simian. High tree branch and objects that look like they've been ripped and thrown like a person would, but it's random.
Like feces?
I'm not going to say that's what's in your hand. We'll say fruit, but yeah. I didn't say they were angry cinnamon. Oh, God.
Cinnamons.
Cinnamon rolls.
That's my safe word because I don't want to go there with Spiegler. Not in this
They
podcast.
throw poo, but it smells like pumpkin spice.
Please remind me if you guys get into a fight with any kind of primate that the air fills with pumpkin spice and cinnamon. Oh, please, somebody's got to remind me of that because I got a place I can go that you guys are gonna love with that. Yeah. Anyway, not a bad idea there, Spieg, Mr. Oakenheart. But no, there, like I said, there are primates and territorial creatures and stuff that can be threat. There are drakes and all kinds of stuff in the jungle. And you're not an idiot. Like, you kind of get the idea that things are sniffing you out.
watching you. But predators in the wild, they kind of like follow a scent or look for blood or something weak, or, you know what I mean? Like a whole bunch of loud creatures on a raft, floating around, jumping up, setting up weird things. Like the smells of you guys setting up, putting down, moving around. We'll say that right now, in your expert opinion, but we'll blame the low dice rolls.
Are there any signs of like animals being like driven away from a direction, like running away from?
Oh, like something that's like civilization.
Yeah,
I will tell you
band
this:
of cultists burning trees or something.
Yep. I will say in the hex you explored, okay, it's subtle, but in this particular hex, it's actually east gets more animals and west gets less, as if something was, close.
Okay. So there's like, if there's more animals, there's a higher concentration in the east side now.
Now, given the size of the jungle, like I said, it's very subtle just to try to get that from one hex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Give me something memory. Like, give me a nature check. You can't.
I got a
of all the natural one, of all the poking around that you've done, you really can't recall. You're like, damn, I should have been doing this the whole time. You really can't recall if there are any of the signs of like regression of animals or concentration or that in any other hex. The jungle is thick and dense and grows and hunts and passes, and rain wipes everything clean and rinse repeat. It's really kind of hard to make that a simulation. So hard that you may actually start second guessing yourself at this point. It's a good idea.
Well,
but you need more
lads,
intel.
I'm not too sure what direction we should head in.
Well, we do need to continue going south.
South it is.
Any
We don't
other
know, Missy.
suggestions? All right, let's go south.
Okay. So you guys just want to head straight south or southeast or...
Straight south.
They said southeast was the general.
This hex is a good... Like, if you look at the hex you are compared to the village, if you guys had gone southeast from the get-go, the hexes line up in a straight line from where you are all the way back to the village. And this is the crux of a river. So I would say, by their logic, you're probably really close. And yet, Reyna, nature, survival. You're an elf. You all think alike. Oh, is that racist? No. The way they describe.
Do you want Reyna or Alethea?
Well, she's better than you, so let's talk to the wolf. No, sorry. Alethea. Now played by
27.
I thought you were rolling for the wolf, and I'd be like, okay, Raggy, this is what we got to do.
No, I was rolling for me.
That's good. That's good. Hey, that's what's funny. You can do it. All right. Spiral pattern from here. If you're at a crux in a river, anything that thinks like civilization, you know what I mean, is got to be near the river. It's the best water source. So if you've come this far without, let's say, cheating using the edge of the map, thinking you've gone too far, and you still haven't found anything, then seeking in a spiral out pattern. Like, pick a hex in any cardinal direction, go to it, but stay adjacent to the hex you're in and start spiraling outward, and you guarantee you that sooner or later you will find something that they wanted you to find, and then you can run back like somebody that gave you bad directions and like, it was over here. You said it was over there. It was like 3 blocks over. And you're gonna have that argument with the elves later, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So
Okay.
we'll continue with the south for now, and if we don't find anything south, we'll go west or east. Do like a circle.
Yeah, like we'll just do one hex south, and if we
Yeah.
don't find anything, we'll go east next, and then north, and then
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
or no, just all
So
the way
I
south.
don't know if this is a good idea or not, but could we set up a centralized camp and explore the adjacent areas before we move on?
Ah. There's an idea. Keep the camp you have with the ace rolls, and instead of going 1 square and moving camp, go 1 square out and 1 square back, and that was our day. But you won't completely do a hex if you go 2 at a time, because you're force marching. So you move 1 hex, you completely explore it, got to kind of take the thing with you. So here's the thing. You can do that, Al, but even though I'm revealing the hexes, it's going to be a half-assed. Well, I guess there'd be a way I could show it being half-assed, so you guys know you need to spend at least another half day. Because if you repeat that pattern, doubling back and doubling back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll lose travel. So normally we can travel 2 hexes a day, right?
Yes, but you can't search 2 a day. You need to you can march 2 a day, but if you guys want to like clear the hex, like be sure you've searched it, it's 1 a day.
But it's 1 a day, and we don't have to make the survival rolls. All we have to do is make our forts. Well, so it's a question of...
Well, that's the thing, is you got to bring the camp with you, because you're... Right? These are 10-mile hexes, so you're 10 miles back. You move 10 miles forward, it puts you in the center of a hex, right? Then, while in the center of that hex, 1 hex away, you go 5 miles in every direction clear, going, okay, we're good. And it's the end of the day, let's camp, right? So...
Okay, I don't know. It's up to you guys. I thought.
Well, that's a good idea. Good idea, but I mean,
we can always just do 2 days per hex. That way we don't have to keep making checks for the survival camp. We just go out, search half the hex 1 day, then the next day go back out, search the second half.
Yeah, it would take you 2 days a hex, but you could hold those camp rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I mean, as long as your supplies hold up, and as long as you guys take time to hunt, which as far as I know is not really taking up a lot of time as far as your searching goes. The 2 seem synonymous from what I could tell from the rules. So now, instead of making survival checks to camp, you're going to make survival checks to keep your food supply topped up, because now you're burning way more days. And we're right back to making survival checks. But I will say this, feeding yourselves is probably easier than making camp, so that you don't get the flu and fatigue all the time. Because I think
but then we still have to do con checks twice as much, and the dice roll is saying we're gonna
that's
fail.
true.
Well, no, that's exactly it. So it's either we do the forts, or we do double forts, or we do fort and survival. Yeah. And so it's but I think we're doing okay in the survival aspect. So yeah, I agree with Joe. It's probably better to just go for it instead of doing
our bean counter cleric. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it's just you do not want spellcasters to be fatigued.
Yeah. Okay.
Plain and simple.
Okay. So it seems we're getting fatigued a little bit already, because we're starting to like, what about this? What about this? What about this? I'll tell you what about this. This brand new hex is clear. Congratulations. Let's make camp.
Yay.
Yay! And while you're firing off those rolls, let's hear them. Camping. Nothing's happening.
11 to assist.
24.
We have Gerald back. He was so exciting.
14.
The trudging of the jungle.
8 to assist. Getting tangled in those tent lines again. I can't help it. I should probably just stop at this point, eh?
Yeah. Stop like cutting the burlap to
23 for my fortitude, though.
Oh, that's all right. There you go. If you stop cutting the burlap to mend your robes you keep tearing, then we'd have more tent left for you to
26 on fortitude.
Okay. Comment.
Got a 2. 14.
21 and 16 for fortitude.
Yes.
A natural 20 for my fort.
Okay.
Yay.
And we cozily settle down and maybe start rethinking a plan. But I'll tell you this. In this hex, you guys really get that we're being watched, we're surrounded, and the hairs are on the back of your necks. And we will see you next time on the Elven Portal Podcast. The Mummy's Mask. No. Age of Ashes. Pretty sure. But Mummy's Mask is back. Hey. Shall we leave with a round of happy birthday to Aiden?
No. Goodbye, everyone. Good night.